Hello and welcome to this episode of Simply Saturday. For today's Fast and Easy card, we are using the Cheers and Sips bundle. Now, I'm telling you that I have had so much fun already with the products in this suite. In fact, I got my suite for half price because this month, during June of 2025, we're having a BOGO. So if you buy one suite of products, you can get a second suite at half price. And also, if you buy an item that is from a suite, so perhaps you just want the bundle, the stamp set and the dies from a suite, then you can purchase another item from a suite and get that one at half price. So there's lots of ways to mix and match. I have been loving the paper, the embellishments, the ribbon. We're gonna do a really fast and easy card here today. I'm beginning with a strawberry slush card base. This is 8.5 inches by 5.5 inches. I have already scored it at 4.25 inches, and we will fold that on the crease and press it with a bone folder. Then I have a piece of my designer series paper already cut. This paper is absolutely fun, amazing, and cheery. It's called Celebratory Sips. I'm going to just quickly show you a couple of the pieces. This one is great for die cutting some of the images out. And you can also fussy cut some of the images out, which is what I'm going to do when you see me put my card together. This is the paper that we're using with all of the pictures and the bottles and the glasses and the fruit. And there's a pretty floral also. Here is some fruit garnishes that I've been using as I fussy cut the pieces out. And here's another fantastic piece that you can die cut the tall or the short glasses. You can also stamp the glass shape on them first if you wish, and then die cut them out. There's so much that can be done, and this is definitely not the only video that I will be doing using these products. All right, I have my piece of designer series paper that is cut at 4 inches by 3.5 inches, and this piece is going to go right here on the front top of the card. So we can go ahead and do that. I've made a card similar to this one in a different color combination, and I'll show you that one at the end. I hope I remember. I realized in a recent video that I said that and then completely forgot to show the other card at the end, and wanting to get it posted and not take all the time to shoot another scene and then edit it together, I just didn't do it. I showed it in the thumbnail, but not during the actual video. So let's hope I remember. Okay, so that piece is in place, really festive looking. Then I am going to take, I have it here, a piece of strawberry slush. This piece is 2 inches by 4 inches, although it's just a hair longer than 4 inches. The reason, not even 1/8 of an inch, more like a 1/16. The reason I say that is because we're going to put this into an embossing folder. And when that happens, it actually causes the paper to shrink up just ever so slightly. And so I want this finished piece, when I'm finished running it through the embossing folder, to be at 4 inches. So I did cut it, like I said, just a hair long. All right, I'm going to put this in this wonderful Glass and Gardens embossing folder. The second one that comes along with this one is a floral. I guess that's where the gardens comes in. This looks like crystal, like on a crystal glass. We're using it just for some yummy texture. And so I've got it in my embossing folder. I'm going to use my mini machine, which I don't use very often. I love the full-size machine. I'm not as big a fan of the small one. I know that a lot of my customers struggle with it, but it is at a lower price point, and as long as you want to use the smaller dies and the smaller embossing folders that will fit in it, it can be a reasonable choice. Now I am going to line up my cutting pads kind of like a W. I don't know if you can see that. I have this one, the bottom plate, which is a number 1. Then I have my embossing folder just staggered back a teeny bit, and then my 3 plate is lined up the same as the white 1 plate. That is going to help it grab and get this going through my mini machine. All right, so we're putting that through, and we can get all of this out of the way. A lot of times I do my embossing off screen, but I wanted to do it today so that you could see it, especially if you're not as familiar and you want to see that step. Okay, so as I mentioned, this started out just a hair longer than 4 inches. Now that it's gone through the embossing folder, I'm going to be able to stick it on my project, and it's exactly the 4 inches that I wanted it to be, because I want it to be the same as my designer series paper edges, and you can see that it is. So I'm going to go ahead and put this piece down next. A little extra glue if you're gluing on a textured piece like I am. Usually you'll hear me say a little goes a long way, and while that is still true, you need a little extra if you're gluing on a piece that has all that texture on it. All right, so I'm lining this over. It's going side to side over my white edges of the designer series paper, and I've got a small border here matching my side and my top border. All right, easy, easy. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is take a piece of ribbon, and let's see, when I did my embossing, a bunch of pieces kind of floated away. So let me make sure I have everything I'm going to need. Yeah, I'm missing a circle. I have my pink circle, my pretty and pink circle. No, bubble bath. I have my bubble bath, and I'm looking for my white one that I know I cut. So let's see if I don't have to cut another one. Let's see if it slipped under my glass mat, which sometimes happens. Okay, I might have to go cut another one. Not a problem though. It's going to go very fast, and I have my little cutting machine right here. So I'm taking one more look to see if it slid. Okay. Here's my circle dies. These are from Stylish Shapes. As I mentioned, I have one in Bubble Bath, and I'm going to do a smaller one in white since it's clearly not right here. All right, so let's see if I have my cutting pads though for dies, because I didn't bring those over because I already had this circle cut. Things happen, right? All right, let's see here. Oh, look what I just found. Okay, that's going to save us a whole step. So I took a piece of white scrap, this smaller circle from Stylish Shapes, and die cut that circle. That is the one we'll be using. Before we do that, I want to take a piece of ribbon. And this is a new ribbon. This is part of the suite. It is called Gold Striped. Is there more words to this? Gold Striped Ribbon. It is sheer, as you can see, but it's got the gold striping through it. It's actually very lovely. It's a lightweight, so it's going to be easy to make bows or knots or wrap around a card. What we're going to do is make a little loop, like a ribbon loop. You know how you have like the breast cancer ribbons or autism. This shape of a ribbon has become really common with all kinds of causes. So we're just making our ribbon into that loop shape with our ends about the same length. And we're going to bring our card back in. This is going to go right here. And what I want to have happen is when this gets pressed flat in any, like in the envelope or whatever, I don't want it sticking out past the edge of my card. So that's how I know my placement. All right, I want these tails to be a little bit closer together, like so. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick a block on here just to hold it for a moment, since I got my placement right where I wanted it. And I'm going to get some tear and tape. Find the end of it. Okay. All right, with my tear and tape now, I am going to hold this down right here on the card. Nobody's going to know that this tear and tape is there, but it's going to hold my ribbon down like so. All right, once that's down, if you need to trim your tails, you can do that. Like so. Okay, now we can finish our fast and easy card. I'm going to take that bubble bath circle. This is going to be a layer behind my white circle. I'm going to stamp the word cheers on the white circle. Now, this will barely fit. All right, it's a tight fit. It's going to just get in there end to end, as you'll see. So I'm looking at the S and at the C and lining it up right in the center. Like I said, it goes completely across this circle. All right, there we have it. Let's put some adhesive on the back of it and attach it to our little pink circle that's waiting. And we'll try to get that centered like so. Now I'm going to take 2 regular size Stampin' Dimensionals, and I'm going to flip this over. This is the top of my circle, so I'm just going to flip it straight over like a pancake and put one at the bottom and one at the top. And then this is going to go right here over the ribbon, and it's going to cover our tear and tape. No one will ever know that that is there. Looking to see if my word cheers is nice and straight. This pink edge of my Strawberry Slush cardstock is really handy because it's giving me that visual of a line. And there we have it. We're going to put some embellishments on this. Let's also do the inside of the card because I want to show you a little cheater trick. This is why some of these papers are so fun. As I mentioned, I'm going to take this one with these pre-printed drinks on it. The ones that have no garnishes would be very easy to cut out with the die. So there's some short glasses and also a couple of tall glasses that you can do that with. Any of the ones that have the garnishes already part of it are very easy to fussy cut. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this one way down here at the bottom. It's not even a full image, but we're going to place it on the edge of the card so it basically looks exactly like it does here. Let me show you how I'm going to do that. So I'm just going to cut this free. These flowers I'll save because those can be used. So right now I'm just freeing this section from the rest of the paper. And then I'm going to fussy cut it out, which will only take a moment. I hate to give up the edges of the paper where there's only little bits of the glasses showing, like this and this, when creatively I think we can still use those. You could stack some one behind the other and so forth. All right, so right around the edge, barely leaving a little white space. I'm going to trim around the glass. And with some care, but not being too worried about getting into all the white spaces, I'm just going to zigzag in and out of this little purple garnish. And up and around over the top. Now, if you don't like fussy cutting, hang with me because this just doesn't take that long. So I don't even think anybody would mind. And if you do like fussy cutting, man, you've got a lot of fun images that you can cut out if you like from this adorable paper. All right, and now I'm down to the glass. And there we have it. Now, I haven't tried this before. I just had it in my head to do it. So you're going to see right along with me what this looks like on the edge of the paper. If you guys have been watching me for a long time, you know that sometimes I have nails, sometimes I don't. I have had no nails on for 6 months, and they are very healthy and quite strong, even though I've kept them short. But I really miss my nice looking nails. So that will be coming very soon. You'll see in a video or two that I have my nails back. Okay, I'm gonna position this right at the bottom of the paper. Look how cute. You don't even need the whole glass. It's just adorable. I'm gonna use my liquid glue to attach that. I wanna be really careful at the edge because I don't want it seeping off and making a mess. And just a little squiggle up there on the garnish. I'm leaving some space to the right side of this image. I actually left a little more space than I needed to, but that's fine because I'm going to put one more image right here. I think that it's very cute to stamp this "Let's Celebrate" vertically. And so that is what I'm going to do. I've done it on one other card that I was playing with. Like so. Oh, I just think it looks so sweet, turned that direction. Okay, let's put this on the inside of the card. And then, I didn't forget, I'll show you the one that I made that is just like it, but with a different color scheme. All right, this is our strawberry slush base. Cute. All right, there we have that. I think we're going to put some embellishments on this. The holographic resin dots are part of this suite and they look really good. I think I'm going to need a bunch of these for an upcoming class, so I'm not going to use them on this card. And look at what I found. I found these old festive pearls. They were in what was considered holiday colors, this red, pale blue, silver, and gold. I think I'm going to use these gold ones because we used the gold ribbon. I think it'll be a good choice. All right, so let me grab my take your pick tool, and I'm going to pick a couple of these off. Since I did that large word on the small circle, that's where I'm going to also put my accents. Well, it wants to stick anywhere but where I want it. 1, 2, and 3. There is our adorable cheers. Let's celebrate this. This could be for anything, birthday, anniversary, any kind of accomplishment. What a fun and cheery card. All right, here's the one that I made that is similar. It's just like it, but I used a different color combination. This one I started with cloud cover as my cardstock base and did my embossing on a piece of cloud cover. And then the same paper, I used some Timid Tiger ribbon, and then I still used my bubble bath and my white circle. This one I did the inside differently. I stamped, added the strawberry garnish, and then added the Let's Celebrate there. So there we have the cloud cover version and the strawberry slush version. And that, my friends, is our fast and easy card for today. See you next time.